Shelley, the responsible class rep, always looking out for others and ready to step in when things get out of hand. Colt, the overconfident class clown, always showing off but still manages to get good grades somehow. Bull, the school bully who's surprisingly soft-hearted once you get to know him. Jesse, the genius inventor of the class, always working on creative projects and getting top marks in science. Nita, the quiet kid, with a wild imagination, always daydreaming about adventures. Brock, the music lover who's always got headphones in, making him the school's unofficial DJ. Dynamite, the reckless daredevil who loves pranks and making everyone laugh, even if it means getting in trouble. Bo, the wise and calm student that everyone goes to for advice, probably the head of the debate team. El Primo, the athletic superstar, always in the gym, breaking records in sports and pushing others to work harder. Barley, the quiet, hard-working student who loves working part-time at the school cafeteria and helps out with events. Poco, the musician who brings his guitar to school and organizes sing-alongs during lunch breaks. Rosa, the botany lover who's obsessed with the school garden, always nurturing plants and sharing interesting facts about nature. Rico, the tech geek who's always tinkering with gadgets and impressing everyone with his robotic skills. Daryl, the silent, mysterious student who keeps to himself, but when he gets involved, he's unstoppable in group projects. Penny, the mischievous prankster who's always one step ahead of the teachers, but still gets good grades. Carl, the studious student, always focusing on geology and science, never without his textbooks and notes. Jackie, the loud and friendly construction enthusiast, always helping others build things for school projects. Piper, the popular and charming student who's always graceful and aces her exams effortlessly. Pam, the nurturing class mom, always looking after her classmates and making sure everyone is okay. Frank, the gentle giant who loves literature and is always there to lend a hand to those who need it. Mortis, the dramatic goth student who's into horror novels and always seems to know the weirdest trivia. Tara, the mysterious psychic type who's good at reading people and always seems to know what's going on. Jean, the friendly, helpful student who's everyone's friend, always lending a hand when someone needs it. Spike, the quiet kid who sits in the back but surprises everyone with his creative ideas during group projects. Crow, the edgy, rebellious student who's always on the edge of trouble but never gets caught. Leon, the sneaky trickster who's always pulling pranks and somehow gets away with it, blending in with the crowd. Sandy, the sleepy student who can nap through anything but somehow manages to pass all their classes. Amber, the cool, laid-back student who's into fashion and always brings a spark to class discussions. Gail, the wise and experienced custodian who's always giving students advice, even though he's not in class himself. Serge, the hyperactive student who's always talking about energy drinks and video games, but aces tests. Colette, the fangirl who's obsessed with the latest trends, always carrying a notebook full of sketches and plans. Edgar, the brooding, moody student who thinks he's cooler than everyone else. He's always cutting class, causing drama, and has a reputation for getting on people's nerves. Despite this, some secretly admire his rebellious attitude. Lou, the cheerful student who's always positive and organizes all the school's parties and events. Colonel Ruffs, the disciplined, military-style student who's always organized and keeps his group on track during projects. Stu, the daredevil stunt student, always pulling off crazy tricks in gym class and showing off his skills. Byron, the sophisticated top student who's into chemistry and is always working on something in the lab. Squeak. The playful, clumsy student who's always making a mess, but everyone loves him for his goofy charm. Belle. The smart but devious student, always trying to outwit her classmates and teachers with clever schemes. Buzz. The overzealous hall monitor who takes his job way too seriously and patrols the school like a lifeguard. Ash. The grumpy, hard-working student who always complains about group work, but ends up doing most of it. Meg. The ambitious student who looks up to the older students and is always trying to learn from them. Griff. The money-minded student who's always trying to sell something, running little side businesses during lunch breaks. Grom. The overly anxious student who's constantly worried about getting in trouble, but secretly a master at strategic planning. Bonnie. The thrill-seeker who's always getting into risky adventures and causing chaos, but never backs down from a challenge. Fang. The martial arts enthusiast, always talking about the latest action movies and practicing his moves at recess. Eve. The unique, science-focused student who's into biology and loves talking about insects and aliens. Janet. The aspiring singer and drama club star, always ready to perform and impress everyone with her voice. Otis. The quiet, artistic student who's always doodling or painting something, with a mysterious air about him. Sam. The tough guy who's always ready for a challenge, a bit of a rebel, but protective of his friends. Gus. The shy, kind-hearted student who prefers to stay in the background, but is always helping others. Buster. The film enthusiast and aspiring director, always making short films and showing them to his classmates. Mandy. The perfectionist baker who's always bringing the best treats to class, but is fiercely competitive. Chester. The prankster with a chaotic sense of humor, always finding ways to surprise or scare his classmates. RT. The highly organized, rule-abiding student who is always keeping the class on task and helping the teachers. Willow. The mysterious, slightly creepy student who's into gothic literature and always seems to know things no one else does. Maisie. The friendly, outgoing student who excels at sports and academics, always balancing fun with hard work. Hank. The jokester who's always getting into trouble for making the class laugh, but is loved by everyone.